Alright guys, HyDra again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The Black Ops 6 multiplayer reveal trailer arriving last night. Some interesting new information and certainly some reaction, certainly to the Omni movement in the game. But also Dashy and the OpTic boys back from the Esports World Cup giving their perspective on the event. Certainly Dashy giving his perspective on the media day before the event even kicked off, saying that there were rather a few hours wasted with some of these media pieces of content that they are up to. And he doesn't really want that to be the case when they get there again next year for various reasons. Very much interested in your thoughts on whether this affects the overall standing of the event in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always. This is MettalZ here in Washington DC. I'm pretty sure what's going on here is COD Next is going to be out there. I think even the guys on OpTic mentioned that you know, they're going to be out there, maybe all of them, maybe some of them, for this Call of Duty Next event to actually play it. So pretty exciting stuff to see what happens with COD Next over the coming days. Of course, the multiplayer reveal trailer arrived last night. This is always a good time. To be fair, we've seen lots of the game already, but you can see a lot of in this trailer the Omni movement type stuff. I mean, they're talking about it, they're showing it absolutely everywhere. This guy's flying out of a window backwards, you know, this guy's even diving backwards in the first place, I think, to avoid the tomahawk. We then see it again with this guy out of the window. You can shoot while doing it. Obviously, this guy's laying down and he's rolling over. Like, you know, this is basically all the trailer is about, is kind of promoting this new movement mechanic they're bringing into the game. It's not even a mechanic, it's just the entire family of mechanics now fall under this heading, as it were. So, you know, that's a large part of the reveal trailer. We see a lot of it right here. I think the fundamental thing that many of the players are hoping to see, certainly when COD Next arrives, is whether the maps are going to be good. We're pretty sure we should at least be getting some throwback maps here, right? There have been rumours they're looking at maybe some of the Cold War maps, even the Black Ops 2 maps, bringing them back to some degree. I mean, here's another one. This guy flies out of the water mid-air like they're shooting at each other. It's, I wouldn't call it exactly pseudo jetpacks, but in the same way that Black Ops 4 had very, you know, aggressive movement in some ways, the fact that the grapple hook was a thing in Black Ops 4, it wasn't a jetpack game, but it wasn't Black Ops 4 too far off being a jetpack game. Cold War was very much a boots on the ground title. This game does seem more like, you know, it's almost pseudo jetpacks in terms of what you can do with the movement, right? Like, you're diving around, you're shooting midair. Like, maybe it's even closer to that than Black Ops 4 was on some level. So I think some of the players are going to rather like it. Shotzzy more than likely among them. We did see, though, again here, Gunsmith is back, right? And it's an unfortunate reality of the Warzone-induced world that we have nowadays that wasn't really a thing when Black Ops 4 was around, and of course the games preceding that. To be fair, that time they had, you know, Blackout and stuff, but that was before Warzone had really come to play. And, you know, again, there's talk about why can't we go back to, you know, this, for example, of course, is Black Ops 3, pretty good game, in my opinion, as you guys know, when it was just the ELO sight or the reflex, depending on what you preferred, long barrel, stock. That was a pretty standard go-to setup on the M8, and that was fine. Chuck the dark matter camo on it, easy does it, everyone would run the same stuff, no problems. You could choose, did you like your quick draw, did you like your long barrel, like what was the way to go? That was pretty much the decision that ARs would make, and unfortunately nowadays, Gunsmith ain't going anywhere, even if it's a tryout game. There's also the body shield thing that we saw a little bit of as well, and we talked about that a while ago. This is a feature that you can take someone effectively as a hostage. I don't know if that's really going to be turned on in competitive, but it is one of those things that, I mean, the Treyarch devs, I think, have confirmed the Omni movement is not an option. It's not a toggle on, toggle off. Like, that is going to be in competitive play. That is going to be how the players are going to play it. And if the body shield mechanic is also part of the game, maybe we're going to see that as well. But, you know, obviously Shotzzy, considered the best movement player in the game. HyDra is not far behind in some ways. That's what kind of ReeaL says. Paco Shotzzy better be dolphin diving in every direction with this Omni movement. So also with Javed, ReeaL is a question of where he's going to be next season, whether he stays on Cloud9, the Subliners, as it's going to be going forwards, or whether, you know, he either gets poached elsewhere or whether he stays on that team. Of course, him and HyDra have had a relationship for a long time, so wherever HyDra is, I'd expect him to be, and presumably HyDra is probably going to stay on Cloud9 for the upcoming season, right? So anyway, the players were giving their thoughts a while ago on Black Ops 6, what they're looking forward to the most. I mean, there's multiple exciting things. I think, you know, as long as the maps are good, it's always been the thing for me. If the maps are good, if the maps are going to work for competitive, because this most recent year of COD, in many ways wasn't that bad. I mean, we still have a two-gun meta, you guys know how it goes. It's not the perfect meta, I don't think, for competitive play, but the pros decide what the meta is going to be effectively on day 3 or 4, and it just stays that way for the entire year. It's not as fun as it used to be when we had 3, 4, even more guns in play, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. The game played reasonably well this year in certain respects. It's just, to me, the maps, at least at the start of the season, were pretty atrocious, and eventually we got the 6 stars, we got the Rios, we got the Vistas of this world, and that improved things to play and to watch. But, you know, we still had to deal with invasion control and stuff like this. Not my favourite map mode combination. There was an interesting couple of developments, though, on Black Ops 7, or whatever you want to call next year's title, because the rumour has it that it was going to go Treyarch back-to-back. They do this year's game, and next year's game is effectively going to be a Black Ops 2 remaster or something like that. COD Warfare say there's no Black Ops 7 next year, it's going to be Modern Warfare 4, so, you know, here we go again. Apparently, though, this game is in a bit of trouble. There's been some rumours over the last couple of weeks that the Modern Warfare 4 development, which I think might be planned for 2026, I don't know, maybe 2025, I guess we'll see, is not going so well. They've reached like a stall in development. The developers aren't really happy with the direction that Activision want to take, and it's at a bit of a standstill. And then Tom Henderson and others kind of came up with the idea that no, actually 2025 is going to be this Black Ops 2 remaster type thing, or some sort of near future Treyarch release, which is kind of Black Ops 2.5. That was the rumor anyway. Don't think they're going to call it that, but and obviously released in 2025 kind of makes sense because Black Ops 2 was set in 2025, obviously. So there is that, and then 2026 is then going to be the Infinite Warfare release, apparently, or an Infinity Ward release, as it were. So yeah, that I think is the plan, and as Fellow says, can always rely on the boys over at Trek to deliver, hoping for some good maps, right? So yeah, Treyarch, they've got a couple of years, and this is the time, really, that the CDL hopefully can take a good step, because I think outside of the game this year, well, we'll see what happens, how many events they have, whether they can step it up from last year. We've got new organisations coming in, we've got new money coming in, and hopefully the game reflects that too, and hopefully if we do have a good game, we have a good season to reflect it, because I'm always going to mention this, Black Ops 3, as good as that game was, did not, unfortunately, in the first year of the CWL, really have the competitive circuit and number of events that we would have actually liked to see, all things considered. The OpTic boys, of course, are going to be at least some of them, at the COD Next thing. I think Kenny's already played the game several weeks ago now, but I wanted to share from the OpTic kind of like game chat. They did a podcast, basically, coming back from EWC. Prid wasn't able to be on this one, but it was JP, Dashy. Dashy was hilarious on this. Shotzzy and Kenny, of course, talking various things about, you know, the new game, Black Ops 6, about EWC, about their kind of performance against FaZe. Kenny was saying that map 1, like, FaZe were surprised that we picked it into them. We fried them on it, of course, that Karachi twice. OpTic did, even after the resets, after they went on like 110 to 20 or something. They then did it again the second time, but it was the high rise, of course, that, you know, put the momentum, let's say, in the other way, and then FaZe went on to take the series from there. But Dashy was talking about, like, everything about the event, because there was a few things at this event which were different to what you'd see at a normal CDL event, and there were some lessons to be learned, probably on both sides, because the OpTic boys, all the players pretty much arrived on Tuesday. The Wednesday, they had to get up pretty early. I think they had to be at the venue for like 11 a.m. midday, which is pretty early for, certainly for the way things usually work over there in Saudi Arabia. And then they were basically making content, some of these guys, all day, including, of course, the filming session for that American Psycho-esque little skits they did with Dashy and X and Tej and Simp and whoever. And it obviously was pretty funny. But Dashy says, hey, like, that kind of took a lot of time. That was the day that we were hoping to relax and chill out and get ready to go for the rest of the event. Of course, big matches to come in the coming days, but they didn't really have the preparation that they would have liked to have.
Nah, dude, that right there was comedy. This shit right here.
This was hilarious.
Brandon, tell him how long you were doing this shit for.
Okay, like, yeah, this is another thing too on the for future, I guess, list. We can't be doing this for 3 hours, guys. I'm sure the commercial probably hit, you know, but not sure if it was worth it for me to get farmed for 3 hours.
Oh my god, bro, it was already late too.
Wait, it was 3 hours?
I should do this at 9 p.m.
It's 7:10 to 9:50, and then it's literally 10 o'clock. I'm still like, the buffet's about to close, and I'm hearing just 10% more energy, Brandon. 10% more energy.
10% more.
10% more slower, and we'll be getting out of here. Like, we'll be getting out of here. How much
you
we got
gotta
left?
become a one-take Drake, bro. That's it. Yeah. You become a one-take Drake, you got
No. There was, even if there was cold in the one tank, they're like, let's do one more. Just we got.
That was perfect. Let's run it again.
Perfect. Just do it one more time. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, and somebody will fuck that up. I'm like, no. I'm like, we had it, bro. We had this shit.
That is
Bro, how'd you take this shit seriously?
I did it with Teach for a little bit, but then I realized, wow, I'm trying to get out of here.
Oh my god.
Is something wrong? Dashy.
So good when they're crushed at the bottom of my
That's you're sweaty. Oh my god, bro.
What was?
Oh my
I
goodness,
don't understand the
bro.
purpose of this. Was this
I'm
for like?
actually crying.
Like I knew.
No,
like,
it's like it's reference to like American Psycho, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but like, what were we trying to like? They were trying to sell the tickets.
just a promo.
I don't think that video was selling no tickets. Oh my god.
That is really super.
That is really super.
Damn, that is really super,
my
bro.
God.
Tej had no dope. Like,
Is that the only thing he said?
That
Tej, yeah.
literally, basically.
Well, like, what else do you want him to say? I think they heard that and they were like, "You're good. You have no more lines, bro." Like, they were like, honestly,
you are
yeah.
as an actor. Let's kill his lines,
Just be
bro.
a decoy. You're just like, yeah. They're like, your shit, just.
Oh my god.
That is really super.
So this is the type of stuff that we've not seen CDL events really do. I mean, back in the CWL days, they would run stuff like this. Content pieces, they were doing all sorts of stuff here, and they had the players do a lot. They clearly had a lot of preparation go into it. And on some level, it made the event cooler and better, and it was like ESL style in some ways, which makes sense, because I think the ESL Face It group effectively ran the show, at least in part behind the scenes over there. But at the same time, it maybe wasn't an ideal preparation for the players going into the Thursday big games. The tournament was getting underway, and you know, here's Dashy spending 3 hours of his time making this commercial. And Dashy's point was like, what's the point of this commercial? Because at the end of it, it comes up with, oh, you book your tickets now for the World Cup, and it's like, they've recorded this on the Wednesday, the day before the matches. Like, nobody's booking tickets and then booking their flights to come out to Riyadh for the Championship Sunday based on this advert, right? So it's kind of like a cool like advertising thing that they can use in a pitch deck or whatever about some of the content that they made during the event, and maybe for next year and maybe for like the week after or something. But like Dashy's point is kind of like, why? Maybe they could tone it down a little bit or tone it down on some level, because yeah, at the end it says book your tickets now for the World Cup, right? And it was a great piece, but I definitely get it from the players' point of view. The players will often, like, the players want to focus on playing the game. They don't want to focus so much on the content and outside of game stuff. And I think it's good that they, like, make them do it. But there's a question on how much it should be done, because there was so much they did on that Wednesday. Like, it was impressive they were able to do so much. MettalZ was probably sitting down for hours interviewing all of those guys because they had just had so much content to work with. Of course, they did this as well. Study sat down with the FaZe boys. They rated the other CDL teams. Like, they put in so much work on that Wednesday, and it was a lot for the pros as well, of course, because they'd arrived on the Tuesday, got there early Wednesday, jet lagged to hell, and had like a 10-hour content day. And, you know, Dashy said that it was, you know, 3 hours just to do that one little skit. So, you know, does that add to the event? Does that take away from the event? Does it put another asterisk so the players are like more tired than they could have otherwise been? What is the solution there? Because the players obviously are going to say, hey, we want to do less content next year, but, you know, do we want, you know, next year to be not as big as this year? Do we want the CDL to take some notes from this? Probably yes on some level. But I thought some pretty interesting comments really there from Dashy from top to bottom, and I thought this is pretty cool as well, actually. So these were notable in-game leaders that they put out from the World Cup. You know, we've got the likes of Faker from the League of Legends, we've got Karrigan from the FaZe Clan Counter-Strike team, many others as well. But Kenny makes it in here also on the Modern Warfare 3 side as the in-game leader, of course, for OpTic Gaming, as it was this event. I keep wanting to say OpTic Texas, but no, technically OpTic Gaming for this one. So very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Another process episode coming soon as well. 5th of September, this one's planned, looking back at the World Cup and everything that happened there. So thought that's pretty cool to look forward to. And just to mention, finally, this is very interesting, all-time KD from 2018 and onwards, right? So since a lot of these guys really came into the scene, to be fair, 2017 and earlier, very difficult to even track and find these numbers. But this is what it looks like from 2018 and onwards. Cellium has the highest KD at a 1.18, then Dashy, then Octane, of course, now retired, Formal, Methods now retired. Impressive that Zinni is here, actually. Number 7 all-time KD over 329 maps in his career since 2018 and onwards. Simp, though, is here as well. Simp is maybe the most impressive feature here in some ways, just because he's been on the SMG, right? And, you know, of all the players in that category, he's definitely in the conversation. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.